All right, everybody, welcome back. It's the Wake Up Crew, Ray G and Jay Rich, here to talk about NBA prop bets on Wednesday, April the 13th. We have the Atlanta Hawks versus the Charlotte Hornets, as well as the San Antonio Spurs versus the New Orleans Pelicans tonight. So we should see an up and down game, especially in the Atlanta matchup with Lamellar Ball, with Trae Young. We got DeJounte Murray playing. We got CJ McCollum, so we should have some scoring. We got a couple of plays that we like that we want to dive into real quick. Let's drop the intro, baby.
For all the high-flying action, take a step back and relax. It's time to count that money, the NBA props. No look any further. You know what time it is. Presented by PrizePicks, NBA props. Let's
count that money, man. All right, we're going to start with the Charlotte and Atlanta matchup and a play that I like, Jay. Looking at Lamellar Ball, we talked about these 2 point guards moving the ball up and down the court quite a bit. Right now, the implied total of this game is 235.5 points, with Atlanta favored by 5.5. Lamellar Ball is what I want to focus in on this matchup right now. And over the season, LaMelo averaged about 20 points a game, 6 rebounds, and 7 assists. But versus Atlanta, he has struggled a little bit in the scoring department. I believe he's averaging around 18 points per game versus Charlotte. And I know that he has hit this number of 23.5 in 3 of his last 5 games, going for 24, 24, and 26. But again, versus Atlanta, the last time they played, about 18 points versus Atlanta. And one of the things that we both like about LaMelo is his ability to facilitate. And I do think, based on the juice in the books right now, there's a chance to get some value with his assist if they drop it down. But right now at 23.5 points, our model, Jay, has Lamellar Ball projected slightly under this one in this matchup. I do think LaMelo's going to have to do a little bit of everything. He's going to have to score. He's going to have to facilitate. He's going to have to get on the boards. So for me in this matchup, based on what he's done over the last 10 games, what he's done versus Atlanta. Atlanta is also 5th in defense against point guards, and they are also, they're going to try to force the ball out of LaMelo's hands. And the good thing about Ball is he doesn't mind giving it up and diming it away. So for me, I'm going to take the under Lamellar Ball's points in this matchup versus Atlanta. What do you think about that one?
I like it a lot. And like you said, on the flip side, it may force him to facilitate a little bit more. Now, the issue for PrizePicks is that his over-under for assists is 9 right now. And that's a number that he's pushed in 4 of his last 10 games. But the juice is on the over on the books. The books have it at 8.5. The juice is minus 128, plus 104 to the under. So people are projecting him to get those 9 assists. But the issue is, right now on PrizePicks, you're not getting that value. If you, for some reason, you do see that number drop to 8.5, then that would be a number I'd be willing to take, because at 8.5, he's hit his assist prop 7 of his last 10 games. And against Atlanta, he's averaging almost 9 assists, and he's averaging 9 assists in his last 10. So again, a push at 9, but I would love the bet at 8.5. So if you can get that, that's one I'd be willing to take. Outside of that, though, I'm not seeing a ton of value in this game. It should be a ton of scoring, but I don't really know which direction these teams are going to play, and ultimately why I'm choosing to look more at the San Antonio-New Orleans game later in the evening.
Yeah, well, let's move to that one, because I've got another play in that matchup, and Purdle is somebody that I'm looking at right now on PrizePicks. 8.5 boards in this matchup. He's averaging 9.6 in his last 5. And I know that they have some strong interior defense with Valanciunas as well as Jackson Hayes. 4th in defensive rebounds allowed. 2nd best team with offensive rebounds allowed. But Jakob, in the last time they played the Pelicans, man, he's averaging 10.5 boards versus New Orleans. He's hit this number 60% of the time in his last 10 games. I'm loving it. With juice to the over in this one, I think Purdle could be in for a big game on the boards. At 8.5, I really like the over. So I think I'm rolling with that one in this one. I know it's a tough matchup versus Valanciunas and Hayes, but Purdle being on the floor, Murray doing his thing, I think this is a good opportunity for him to grab some rebounds in this matchup.
Yeah, absolutely. Like you said, it's a tough matchup. Both those big guys can grab a ton of boards. Valanciunas' line is at 12.5 for this game, which is just insane. He's only hit that number twice in his last 10 games. So another play I was thinking about, but I wouldn't quite go for the under just right there. But for Purdle, he's held his own, and the reason why I really like that play, because you're getting a little bit of value on Purdle because of the tough matchup, but he's hitting that number, and especially, more importantly, he's hitting that number against the Pelicans. Now, a play that I've actually been playing a lot, that I've been liking a ton, is Brandon Ingram over over 5.5 assists on PrizePicks. Now, he's hit this number in 7 of his last 10 games and 3 of his last 5. Now, for people who haven't been paying attention, Brandon Ingram was dealing with a hamstring injury, and he just recently came back. But in the past 5 games, he's still been hitting that number 3 of his last 5, and it's minus 130 on the sportsbooks right now. So if you do take the over, you're getting a little bit of natural juice there. But I would get this number soon because it's one that I am sure could rise to 6 and may even go above that. So lock this play in early, make it one of your core plays. I think this is one where, like you're saying, he's going to facilitate. He's going to drop the ball down to Hayes, to Valanciunas, and be a playmaker out there. His minutes have been slowly going up since returning from the injury, and I think it's the one that I really, really like today and why I'm making it part of our core plays for the day. Ray, where are you at with Brandon Eggman? How do you feel about him?
Yeah, man, it was one that I really wasn't paying attention to until you brought it to my attention. But the model says good. I mean, it spit out a green boy for an over. It's got him projected at six assists in this matchup. And with the juice to the over already, you're sort of getting some natural edge built into some of the lines here on PrizePicks. When we're watching these throughout the day, it's give and take. If you bet it early, sometimes you catch some of the value early because the lines move, in your favor, whether that's up or down, depending on if you bet the over or under. Ingram is definitely a line that I can see before tip-off being pushed up to 6 flat, and that's right now. I think you get that value with Brandon Ingram here. I'm going to continue to watch DeJounte Murray, and right now the model doesn't like anything, doesn't like his par, doesn't like his points, and it doesn't like his rebounds. But if we move those lines down just a tick, which I think could happen, if these assists for DeJounte Murray drop from 9 to 8.5, I think I'd be in on this one. So I'd be watching that one. But right now, for the core play, in the way that we do this, man, we mix and match these guys. So you can do multiple combinations. Normally 4 picks is what we like to do, but again, we're not trying to force bet. Sometimes the best play is a no play. So Brandon Ingram over 5.5 assists, Purdle over 8.5 boards, and Lamellar Ball under 23.5 points is what we're rocking with the core plays on tonight's slate. Anybody else that you're just keeping your eye on and seeing what happens throughout the day, Jay?
Not too much. One that I considered was Lamellar Ball over on his 3s at 3.5. It's one that he's hit more often than not lately, but the problem is he's doing it more so at home. So if he does get a home game for some reason, I would love it for Ball because he's hit it, I think, in 6 of his last 7 home games, but on the road, he's closer to 5 of 10. So that's one of the issues for Ball in his 3-point shot, but he's been chucking it up a lot, but he's coming off, a 6 of 7 game and a 5 of 9 game. So incredibly efficient, and they're going to be throwing a lot of defenders at him in this game. So I think there's, like you're talking about, the under on the points and a better chance that he facilitates more. And like you mentioned, he only scored 22 points the last game against Atlanta, so I do like that matchup already, and the reason why we like the under. And like you have highlighted Clint Capela. Where are you at with Clint Capela?
Yeah, this is one I'm watching. Clint Capela's boards, right? They're at 13. This drops down to 12.5. I'm in. He had 13 the last time versus Charlotte. The books have him at 12.5, so PrizePicks has it juiced up just a tad bit. Charlotte bleeds rebounds. They do. They're 28th in center defense. They're 26th in the NBA in defensive rebounds allowed, 29th in offensive rebounds allowed. And Clint Capela has hit this 6 out of his last 10 matchups. This drops down to 12.5. I am in on Clint Capela's boards and potentially in on his par as well. But that's what we're rolling with. Those are our core plays for tonight's NBA slate. Hopefully we win. If you tail, good luck. If not, we'll be back tomorrow. We got more. Enjoy the NBA tonight, and we'll catch y'all tomorrow. We out. Peace.